Welcome to T-Boys TV. Come on! That's what I'm talking about. That's what we flipping needed. We needed a win like that at some point in this season. Oh, mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm not going to get carried away. Even though we have got 4 wins in a row, there was still improvements. Even though we've won 3-0 against top of the league, and that is a brilliant result. Absolutely brilliant result. Mate, I said we'd lose 2-1. You know, no one saw that coming. We have to be honest. We have to be honest. And if there is someone who saw that coming, fair flipping play. But anywhere I've seen, I've not even seen that. There was a Stockport fan that said 3-0, and I've got to be honest, mate. Hold that. What are you talking about, mate? Even though I said they'll win, not like that. Anyway, let's get into the game. So the lineup when it dropped at 1:45, as it comes out 15 minutes before now. To me, the formation, right, it looked like a 3-5-1-1. To me, it looked like Keely in goal. It looked like we had Naismith left centre back, Anderson in the middle, Mengi on the right, Jones right wing back, Bramall left wing back, midfield of Saville, Walsh, and Lamine, and then Richards like in front of that, and then Wells in front of that. That's how it looked to me. Let me know if you agree, if you think that was the lineup. Looking at it, obviously we might find out from Wilshere. He might have said what it is by the time this drops. Going into the first half, I mean, let's be honest. We didn't start so great. They had a lot of chances, and there was a large part of the game where we didn't even have a shot. A lot of frustration in a lot of games has been the fact we haven't even had a shot on target in first halves of the games, especially under Bloomfield. But we didn't have a shot for a while. Stockport were having a lot of chances, a couple of corners, headers over the bar. Keely had to make a good save from Lowe, who was desperate to score. Obviously, there was them alleged rumours, whether they were true or not, of us looking at him when we were on the search for a striker. He was desperate to score today. He kept his goal scoring record up anyway, with a goal anyway today. And yeah, Keely made some great saves, and he was brilliant in this game, Josh Keely. Absolutely brilliant. He didn't do none of them moments where he comes out and there's a defender there and you worry sometimes. He was really good claiming the ball. I remember Leighton Orient fans, they always said one downside to his game is him claiming crosses, but today, unbelievable. Some of the saves he made as well. Obviously, the penalty save, good save, that low save, like I say, and just commanding the ball. Absolutely brilliant today. And I was buzzing when we signed him, yeah, absolutely buzzing. And I know I've said, he should have been dropped during that Plymouth Argyle spell. And then I think it was leading up to the Lincoln away game. But that's just for a game, because I know he's a great signing. And you guys will know, he was my favourite signing up there with Yates. And Yates has not performed to the level we know he can. But I know Keely's a top keeper. And he's definitely got a bright future ahead of him. There's still bits for him to learn. Like I say, sometimes he comes out when the defender's there. He did that in Forest Green games, done that in, I think, the Wigan game, done it in a few games. But today, he didn't do none of that. He was absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to say it now. And obviously, me and my dad will get into player ratings and things on Monday. But he's my man of the match. I thought it's absolutely brilliant today. Like I say, not nothing wrong. And got a clean sheet, well-deserved clean sheet. Penalty, you're thinking they might get back into the game or at least have a chance. But Keely saves it, and it's a good save. So fair play to him, and he was brilliant today. In terms of the first half, like I say, it took us a while to actually get to grips of the game. We did manage to actually break through. I thought Bramall was really good in this game. The only downside I've got with Bramall is the yellow card he got. Bit frustrating. But in terms of, earlier on I think the first chance we had, even though we didn't get a shot from it, like where you thought, okay, we could do something in this game, was their player tried to tackle him. He sort of had it, and then Bramall got it again, made a forward run, played the ball into the box. Only Lamine was in the box, which was a bit frustrating. I do think there was a lot of good performances today, but one criticism I do have on a player in particular is Wells. I've got to be honest, he should have scored in this game, and even that moment where Bramall's on the break to start off with, Wells is dropping deep, and don't get me wrong, he might be told to do that, but I don't like to see that when we've got one striker up front. Do you know what I mean? Lamine was the only one in the box. So that was a bit frustrating. But, Bramall kept making them forward runs, and we eventually got a goal from it. Richards. Massive shout out to Richards. He's been brilliant, really, since the Northampton game, I'd say. This game, like I say, to me, it seemed like he's behind striker just in front of that midfield three. And he was brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant. And Wilshere, rates him highly. He said he sees a lot of similarities to how Wilshere used to play to him. Obviously, he's still very young, so still got a lot to learn. But in terms of just little things he does, it was a good finish. He latched onto it. Keeper was stunned, really, I would say. And fair play to Naismith. I think Naismith deserves credit in the goal as well. And then, he was making a run. Then Bramall took it, played it into Richards, and Richards tucked it away. And fair play to him. He's going to keep starting games at this moment in time, definitely. And you've seen that he can play a lot of different positions. I mean, none of us really expected him to be able to play on the right. We saw that he could against Northampton. Now, like playing in a different role by the looks of it today, sort of like as a cam, which we know, obviously, that's what he is anyway. But in terms of being behind the striker and, in front of the midfield three, it's looking like another good option to be played there. So, again, massive shout out to him. And then, shortly after, we get a free kick in a very good position. Now, Asaya Jones massively bigged him up against Northampton. I thought he was brilliant in that game, obviously coming on, getting the assist. And he didn't play football for a while, so sometimes when players come back naturally, they're just rusty. But he was absolutely brilliant again in this game. And a lot of people saying at half-time, and I totally agree, Asaya Jones is a cheat code in this league. He's so good. And like I say, you see players, they come in and they struggle to get to grips because they haven't played for a while. He was right on it today. Even his time when he's come in since he's returned, obviously Northampton, he went on the left. He was on the right in this game today. Do you know what I mean? He's showing that he can play on both sides. And he's just looking a threat. Looking a threat. Obviously got in the third goal, which gave us a lot of confidence. And from there on in, you felt we're going to go on and win the game. Despite against Forest Green, obviously being 3-0 up. I thought this game was completely different if we had to get the third, like I said on the watch-along. Because we're away from home. You could argue it was even done at 2-0, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, he wins the free kick. And Bramall as well. Absolutely brilliant free kick. Let me know in the chat, was that one better than the Barnet one? I don't know. They're both great free kicks, so it's very hard to actually comment which one was better. I'll maybe edge the Barnet one just because the way it went in terms of hitting the woodwork and going in. But this was another great free kick, and we've seen that he's so confident at taking free kicks. I mean, you even look at the Forest Green game when Wells tapped it in from his free kick. Bramall has the confidence to take it on, and you want to see that. And it was a great free kick, and from there on in, it's absolute carnage in that away end. And yeah, massive shout out to Darth Vader. Did manage to get him 2 tickets for that game, so he'd be absolutely loving it. And all the fans that went, fair play to you guys. And I did say on the Hat Show yesterday, it's a long journey. So hopefully the boys can, get the result. And we did for sure. And we go 2-0 up. And you are still thinking about the Forest Green game, just naturally, because we were 2-0 up at half-time in that game. But like I said on the watch-along, and like I've just said not too long ago, if we got the next goal, which we did, I felt we had to go on to win, definitely. And obviously we did, like I say, Asaya Jones. Darth Vader has just messaged the Discord that we're in. Do get involved in it. And he said, shout out to Tyler for sorting out 2 tickets for me. And obviously talking on the game. So, massive shout out to yourself, mate. But yeah, like I say, from that moment in, 3-0, absolutely brilliant. And Stockport, they didn't do nothing. Other than the start of the game, they didn't do nothing. And yes, I know they had injuries. Norwood being out was massive for them. But we capitalised. And that is a wicked result. Even, like I said on the Hat Show yesterday, they've got so many good players anyway. They've got good players all over. I don't think it matters. But, yeah, a lot of Stockport fans are looking at this game now and thinking, not going to win the league. I don't think they'll win the league anyway. I think they'll definitely be in the playoff conversation again. But, yeah, I mean, for us, that's massive. 4 wins on the bounce now. I don't even know last time we've done that, to be quite honest with you. Don't think we've even done that in the last 2 years, to be honest. But yeah, Wilshere and Powell and all the other staff, whatever they've got is cooking. Do you know what I mean? Let's say it like that. But yeah, man, brilliant performances. Like I say, Keely is my man of the match. I'm going to give massive credit to him. He's my man of the match. Close between him and Jones in particular. But yeah, I'm going to give it to Keely. Do let me know your thoughts on the game. But the last thing I do want to say before I do wrap up this match reaction, obviously we're set to play Rotherham. I'm not too sure when we'll find out if it's going to be called off or not. Me personally, because I know it's down to the club's choices, I'd want to play that game because we've got a lot of momentum. We obviously won 4 on the bounce. I know Rotherham won today 3-0 against Lincoln. But we're at the Kenny, it's a good opportunity with 4 wins on the bounce for a lot of confidence to try and get the Kenny bouncing again. And Saville did get a yellow card in the game against Stockport, which obviously means he will miss the next game, whatever that is for Luton. So I'm thinking of it. He's going to go out on international break anyway. The players we have got going out. You got El Hamadi. He's getting minutes anyway. Should have probably scored against Stockport. Let's be honest, but good defending, I guess, at the same time. But he's going to be getting minutes. And I think we can, put other players there. You can even, hopefully we have likes of Clark back. And then I think you can have a midfield three of Lamine, Clark and Walsh, and then maybe Richards ahead of them with then a striker ahead of them. I would like to see that game played. Do let me know if you do agree, especially with the international break coming up. England have already qualified, so as much as, we're always going to qualify, there's nothing to play for now in terms of actually points to qualify. So that's another reason I'd like to see us play next weekend. But yeah, do let me know if you'd like to see that as well. But yeah, Stockport fan, Luton fan, or neutral fan, if you did watch the game, do let me know your thoughts on the game. Who is your man of the match? And yeah, don't forget to smash the like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the extra channel, join Discord, all that in the description. Take care. Peace.